So I'm super happy to be here. First of all, can you hear me? Please wave if you can hear my sound. Hi, Camille.
Hey, hi
Can
Jade,
you
how are
hear
you?
me?
Yes, very
Yeah,
well.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Um, yeah, it's our first time for our platform to do this kind of live interview, and we are hoping to kind of promote a series of feature artist interview in Instagram live stream. And Camille, I'm so super happy to have you as our first speaker, guest artist here.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Nice to see you.
yeah, nice to see everyone. Hello, Limbo. Hello, the crowd. I think a lot of us has been artists are following and paying attention to this life. And do you want to do a brief introduction of yourself
Yeah,
first?
sure. My name is chmiel, and I use my second name as alias. I'm a digital artist for 20 years or maybe more right now, and I've been working in the movie industry for the past 10. Uh, yeah, I'm living now in Canada, but I was born in Poland, and I moved to Canada to work uh, on the movies such as Star Wars, Marvel, or Game of Thrones. Uh, but at the same time, I'm doing my personal art. I think that's about it for now.
Yeah, so you say that you were in Poland before, so you speak multi languages?
Yes, so like I obviously speak Polish, but uh, I learn English uh, as I go in Canada to be able to work here. Also, when I moved here, I moved to the Quebec, which is French. So I tried to learn French, but I failed miserably after 1 year. So English is a bit easier.
Yeah, for me, like French, I couldn't. I just can't separate them from, negative, blah, blah, blah. It's too difficult.
Yes, it is. It's such a beautiful language, but it's so difficult for
Yeah,
as a second
it's
language.
it's difficult and it makes it more romantic and mysterious.
Yes, that's true.
And also you mentioned the movies that you have been participating making. So I bet you definitely have a really shining resume after, the years that you have accumulated. Um, yep.
Yeah, so in a way, I think when I started, uh, having the huge titles in my resume, that was something exciting for me. But right now, after many years, I appreciate more like having good people in the team and having nice atmosphere. Uh, like more than
Peace and love.
having shiny titles. Uh, yeah,
So do you want to share us more about the experience of movie making and stuff? Because a lot of us or people who just enter this industry um, might find a bit confusing or difficult to secure a position with pay and stuff. And do you want to share because you have a quite a long time of working in art industry. Do you want to share us about how you get to these paths and maybe in along this way, what kind of positions you have been and how stuff. Yeah.
hmm So uh, it's not that difficult to work in the movie industry because you don't need formal education. It's not like being a doctor and you need to like spend this many years. So you can basically learn right now everything online. And how the movie pipeline works, it's very divided. So you don't have to learn from how to make a shot from start to finish. You just have to like pick one chunk, like, oh, I love modeling, so I will learn as much as I can how to model. And after that, you build your portfolio or demo reel, try to get some experience, and you just apply to different companies and wish for the best. Yes.
You
So
meant,
basically,
yeah.
it's very important to have a really good resume and be a kind person, I guess, because it's very team-oriented work. So if you're not nice to others, then nobody wants to work with you in the future.
Yeah, sure. You mentioned that you have to learn kind of techniques like modeling or making shots that you like. And could you please share that? Are you self-educated or you went to some kind of training or school or stuff like that?
So I started 20 years ago, so it was very hard to find education. I think the only stuff that I found was like the Nomon DVDs that were sent by post. Uh, you cannot see it online. It was like on the actual DVD. So I try to learn as much as I can online, and I think the biggest experience come from like doing my own personal illustrations and projects when I had to figure out from the start how to put something together. Mm, yeah, so basically I learn on my own, trying different stuff, and as soon as I can, I start doing freelance. So it also forces you to do stuff out of your comfort zone because otherwise I would just do the same stuff because the mind is lazy. So you do the same stuff over and over again. But if someone asks you to I don't know, some building or do the tower, you have to learn new stuff. So that really helps. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I find it you have another perspective of, doing freelance job because when I was talking with other artists, they find freelancing is really time consuming and sometimes it's more like commercial stuff. So they may not be able to express themselves or choose what they like best. Like, could you please share like how you balance this kind of your own expression and the commercial needs of your client?
yes, absolutely. So to to stay sane, I think each artist has to do their own stuff because it's otherwise it's really easy uh, to get burnout after some years. But doing own stuff really like uh, uh, keep your passion active all the time. So it's super important to try to find the time to do it. Like I remember at the beginning, I was even doing like half-year breaks just to work on my own stuff to really be passionate about doing CG. And recently, I also started painted more. I find it more relaxing than doing CG and looking at this subject of creating pictures from like the different perspective. So you really have to think how to keep uh, yourself engaged and keep yourself having fun, like from what you do.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like as you mentioned, maybe you separate days of, doing business work and separate days for your own creation.
Yeah,
Also,
exactly.
you maybe take breaks when you do like painting stuff because it's more like soothing, eyes friendly as well. Like these kind of like a flow that you have to balance it and find your own kind of pace to adjust like
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes
yourself.
sometimes it's good to do commercial work and work with other people, because otherwise, if you stay in the one room and do only your pieces and focus on your emotions, you can get crazy really
Or get
really
lost.
easily. Yeah. So it's good to do commercial work when you actually don't have to focus on some emotions and experience, but rather on like talking with people and cooperating and figuring stuff. So there are two different worlds, but I think it's good to have both.
Yeah. It was more like a people or a social or teamwork. Yeah, teamwork. More like or you need communication. If your clients like only one single person, you still need to talk to them. Like after you're talking to your computer and to yourself for a long time, you really need to have a real person to tell. And sometimes a different voice is really important as well. Maybe
Yeah,
their
exactly.
suggestions um, might help you push yourself, your boundaries, and bring your standard even higher.
Yeah, exactly. And even learn like working in a team really like boost your uh, learning curve, because each artist is different, has different skills. And what I found fascinating in this industry, that everyone is so willing to share their knowledge
Sure.
from the beginning.
So have you been joining these kind of like small learning group or with your friends or colleagues to support each other?
At the beginning, when I started, there was no Instagram and Gumroad and stuff like that. So I remember there was one forum, internet forum, and people share. And in Poland, it was basically only one. So everyone know each other. But as soon as we all started to work in the industry, we just worked in small teams and share the knowledge while working on some projects. And the same is happening now in the movie industry, when you have like 15 colleagues working on the same sequence, and you just learn from them and you share what you learned.
Yeah. Will you sometimes maybe send your own piece or you find yourself in a kind of position, difficult position, will you send it to your peers or friends to review, like to hear their suggestions?
Yeah, so I don't do it often, because I like to have this freedom while creating my own stuff. But I often show it to my wife and to few of my friends, to know their opinion, because it's sometimes there's something obvious that doesn't work, that you don't see because you spend so much
Yeah.
time. You're so tunneled in some maybe technical stuff sometimes, that you don't see some obvious, I don't want to say mistakes, but opportunities to improve.
Yeah. As you mentioned, like your family, your wife, your friends, well, you say they are like important uh, to support you as an artist. Like, are they important for your own career development?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, my wife supports me for almost 10 years now. And it's not only like during my professional work, but also like support me to push myself, and uh, yeah, really cheering in every success, and being supportive when something doesn't work out. But also what I like is to uh, check different perspective, even like, because creating pictures is not only about the pixels. You have to like have topics on what do you want to do, and talking with other people and seeing their point of view can really help like crystallize some ideas that you never thought about.
Yeah, it was it kind of enrich your ideas, like inspirations. And also it's always great to have someone to share when you manage to finish a piece that you are really pleased with.
Yes, yes, exactly. But it's hard to have a piece that you that are finished. I like the sentence that there's art is never finished; it's always abandoned. And I have the same. I can always stay on the same image uh, all the time and just keep figuring different stuff and keep improving.
To what point that you will decide, okay, I'm gonna abandon this piece. This is it.
I don't know. I just have to force myself really, because otherwise, last year I created some pieces and I have like 10 different finished styles and compositions, and I just picked one, and I feel that was the point that I went too far. So also I like to like maybe do a couple of pieces at once, so it's easy to let go of different ones because in my mind, oh, I think that oh, but I will have to improve another one, so I will let go of this one, but otherwise I can work on this all the time.
You're like more than Monet, because Monet also start with a dozen of paintings, like white paintings at the same time, and paint like each of them, like when they feel like it, when the weather is good.
Yeah, exactly. But on computer it's even better because having like for the first time artists have this ability when they work on the piece and they want to change something at the beginning, like move some stuff. They can, and the rest of the process like updates automatically before you have to paint it from the start. So
Yeah,
it could be even more crazy to like
yeah.
not get too attached to the picture.
Yeah, and also it's more like money saving because if you do it in a traditional way, you have with it a lot of paint, your canvas, and if you want to start over again, you just cover the one that you have like
Yeah, it's a
abandoned
shame,
or
right?
stuff. Yeah, and for a computer, you can always save it. And sometimes if you look back, you will feel like, this one is not bad actually. Maybe I
Yeah,
could use it like for another play someday.
yeah, exactly. And always the first version is the best. So that's good to keep.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know why. Maybe because when you do the first version, you don't think too much. It's more based on the instincts. And I find that I always go back to the first sketch or first composition.
and so do you do sketch before you actually start a a project?
Yeah, I try to do some thumbnails for more for the values and for the shapes. But I also like sketching in 3D, so basically moving stuff all the time, like not committing to anything, and that really helps because you already have a good perspective. You don't have to think about the perspective and third dimension, but it's crucial to keep everything simple, like only one flat color. And after this is done, I try to progress more in the lighting and materials and mood.
So you do like composing stuff is like do you separate them to small blocks and you kind of move it around on computer to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
like how
exactly.
it works best?
Yeah,
Ah, I
or do
see.
it on a sketchbook, like most of the traditional artists, when you just do a lot of small thumbnails, and then you look from the distance and you instantly see, oh, okay, this is the one that works the best.
Do you like use sketchbook today? Like do you use sketchbook?
Today not, because I have 2 months old daughter, so my days are crazy, and I work at the same time. But uh, each time I start new work, I sketch.
And also, like when looking back, I felt the sketch of artists are really, interesting to looking because they are like fun. Sometimes they grabs like maybe a little bird that you go through when you go out for coffee, and you just kind of sketch down the tiny little stuff that you encounter in your life. It's like small diary, like.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That's definitely I would like to do in the future more. And also some people that do it on the iPads now. with
Ah,
colors and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
try to capture light and stuff. That's yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, like artist process become more interesting than actual finished piece.
Yeah, somehow I think.
Yeah.
Mm, can you please share us more about the movie part? Because, like as we mentioned, that you have been participate in a lot of Marvel series, Disney series. Like, do you want to mention one particular one that impressed you most?
So I, I like I really liked working on Star Wars because it was my childhood dream, like to do this type of stuff. But there are a lot of fun projects that I work on uh, during past years. For sure, like when I come to Canada and I work on Game of Thrones and I saw my name on the titles, and I was in love with the show back then, and that was something very nice. I like also Doctor Strange. I work on the environments on these movies, on this movie. That was very interesting experience to have this changing city that evolves as the. I work on the chase sequence in a New York, so having ability to like animate and change the New York buildings to for something else was really cool.
Yeah, like 1 second in New York, next second in London. And I remember that when I go to the movie theater, because a lot of people are saying that you have to watch Doctor Strange because their animation and uh, action are so fascinating that something that you have never seen on screen before. So I went to the cinema and I saw the moving ground floors and moving buildings, and everything is like flying, evolving, like chasing you and become weapons. It was so fun, and I just couldn't believe that somehow computer and artists could make that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I like doing this stuff that you cannot actually photograph or like shoot on the camera. Something that
Yeah.
hasn't been done before. Yeah, I like this part a lot.
And also, you mentioned that you have been doing the, movie related this kind of stuff for around 10 years. So, do you want to share some suggestions for people who may be interested in entering movie section that um, maybe more particularly on how to improve your artistic skills?
Hmm. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good tutorials now on Gumroad and on ArtStation, and there's a lot of artists that are sharing their knowledge. Uh, so I think doing good research and learning a lot online uh, will help a lot. And I just ask people around. There's so many people online right now that are willing to share. Uh, and all you need to do is be nice and ask, and they always
Yeah.
reply.
And also, I see that you sometimes share that the process of yourself, making NFT and making digital arts. I think people could also learn how to um, do that technically somehow. I'm not sure if I get it
Yeah,
right.
I want to do it more actually because sometimes I like the process more, like to see that how something like big starts from nothing and ending being some animation picture.
Yeah, I love it actually. Like, and I was thinking of it would be great that maybe if you were willing to, that you could share the process of you doing like small pieces or like kind of simple tutorials on our platform, because a lot of people are doing maybe more like 2D art, and they may be interested in like 3D or CG stuff. So you could share these kind of small process. I think that would attract a lot of audience.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And you also mentioned that people are really critical for your career, and you mentioned like movie sector is really kind of a teamwork. So, what would you say that are critical that the personality or the professional skills in communication that you need to equip if you want to work in a movie making team?
Yeah, so ideally both, but I found uh, like it's hard to find person that it's I usually find that people have one side stronger, uh, but I feel it's easier to have good communication and be nice than just have the technical skills. Uh, because at the end of the day, you have to work with this person for half of a year or a year. So even subconsciously, you pick someone that is nice. But without the skills, obviously they both have to have good skills.
Yeah. Does patience, like being patient, a critical element for this kind of work?
Yeah, absolutely. And not taking stuff personally. That's a big one. Just focusing on a picture and uh, on a team effort.
I think people when working groups or you work in corporations, you you encounter occasions that you have criticism or just judgments or feedbacks, we could say. Like if you are not like being open to it or you take it too personally, it might hurt your feelings. Like, but people may not mean it that way.
Yes, exactly. And they're never mean it that way. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is perfectionism important for making movie?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You have to do the stuff that you said you will do, and be nice when you like the stuff that you mentioned. It's like being an artist. It's really easy to take something personally because you put a heart into this picture. So having this, always having the one step back and having a distance, and that's why doing personal stuff is so important because as soon as you do your personal stuff, it's so much easier to be uh, more relaxed at work.
Also, as you mentioned before, that now you have a really full, like busy schedule after the birth of your daughter. And a lot of other artists, most of them might not be a full-time artist, that they do part-time job or full-time job in other career to support their art making or support their living. And do you want to share that your schedule, like how you manage the time? Because as we know that you work in movie sector, you're doing the business movie stuff, and you also keep producing like great NFT art pieces. I bet that you are really good at time like managing. Do you want to
Mm,
share on that?
Yeah, like before the birth, but right now it's too crazy and my time management is the worst. Uh, so I'm drinking liters of coffees to keep it going. But at some point, I think the key is to really divide the day and like keep one block. And even if you have half an hour, then just dedicate this half an hour to work on your stuff. Uh, yeah, but it's difficult, and it's difficult for people that work in other jobs and trying to learn at the evenings. But you just have to keep going. There's no easy way.
Yeah. Do you keep like the block of block like time unit, half an hour to focus or like 1 hour, or you just like depends on the time flexibility you have.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do now. To even like before, even today, I finished my work and needed to go to some appointment, and I have half an hour, and just dedicated this block. Uh, but it's so easy to get lost in, sitting on the Instagram and because you also have to relax sometimes. So yeah, we will see. Right now it's a big challenge with little kid, but I feel that having some blocks and even having blocks that are just for relaxing would help.
And do you work like do you have the best condition like consciously in the morning for work or in the evening?
Oh,
Which time do you prefer?
in the evening, uh, definitely. But I'm trying to have discipline and work in the morning because otherwise it's hard to live when you work in the nights. I remember in my 20s, I used to work till 6 a.m. sometimes and sleep till 3 p.m., but you cannot live like that for long.
Yeah, after I interviewing with several like artists, they all claim that they sleep freely, like a small amount of time, like sometimes like 3 to 4 hours a day. And if they encounter a project, they might even not skip sleeping for a day and stop. Like I couldn't personally, I couldn't manage to do that because after that stay up, the other day I will feel like dizzy,
Terrible,
like I
yeah.
just couldn't really focus on anything and tired and sleepy.
Yeah, exactly. I found in my 20s, now I'm 35, so in my 20s I find it much easier. Uh, but right now I cannot imagine like working nights and stuff like that. You really have to have a plan.
Yeah, and don't like prepay your like body, you know. The
Yeah,
body is like a continuous resources and precious one for you. You don't want to waste them all on 20, right?
yeah, exactly.
Um, shall we talk about like your own NFT art creation a bit more? That are you being on some new projects that you've been doing recently?
Yeah, so I'm working on I'm finishing one series that is inspired by the last month when my wife was pregnant and we were waiting for the birth, and there was a lot of new emotions and uh, uh, e- even like seeing what my wife is going through with all the changes. That's pretty inspiring for creating a pictures. And I found like usually what I try to do is do illustration, but don't uh, focus on telling the story. More being focused on what I felt in this part of my life, and try to visualize that. So what I find is like it's also a way for me to process some emotions uh, doing those pieces. So this is one series, and I also started to work on some portraits. Uh, I wanted to do it for the long time, but I wanted to figure out some different approach to show the person, and I feel I'm up to something interesting, but we will see. And the third one that is also on, as I said, I like to work on a couple things at once. And the third one is more about the third series is more about some cultural background and stuff from the country I was born and grew up. Uh, yeah, and it's really oscillating around fate. in church and trying to look at it from different perspective.
We have the artist like Deconstruct, and he mentioned that your piece in between is an amazing piece of artwork.
Oh, thank you, Deconstruct.
Do you want to tell us more about these particular piece?
So it's a part of the series that I made during the pregnancy, and it's I had this idea about mirror and looking into the mirror, but it's more focused on seeing something in the mirror seeing some change in the mirror instead of seeing just the pure reflection. Like sometimes we look at the mirror and we see something new, uh, and that was I think interesting idea for, and I really wanted to capture the moment. It's in this piece. I want to try it more like meditation, that you are in this particular moment when you look at yourself in the mirror, uh, but also a bit in the abstract way. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I guess you have to. Also, I don't want to like force some interpretation. I feel we all go through the same stuff during our lives, and I would love to see other people looking at my pieces and think about something different. That's the that's the best part.
Yeah, I feel that audience could understand the concept of mirror and reflection quite easily because the figures and the way it is designed. But definitely everyone has their own reflection. They might reflect on what's happening in their own lives. So it makes a lot of diverse expression and understanding from the same piece.
Hmm.
And deconstruct, deconstruct say that it feels like a worm.
Yeah, that's awesome. I never thought about it, but it makes a lot of sense when I say it loud. Uh, yeah, that's interesting thought.
Yeah. Um, so you also have this piece has been sent to different exhibitions, right? Do you want to share about the experience that you join in offline collection exhibition and also offline auction?
Yes, it was awesome because in my mind, like I'm doing it for 20 years, and I felt always digital art was somewhere on the side, and artwork is more focused on paintings and sculptures that are obviously awesome too. But seeing my piece in a exhibition and seeing in animated animated painting in a way in a museum was really nice. Uh, Also being part of the auction, that like 2 years ago it was almost abstract. Uh, to sell your digital art on the actual auction when the people, sit behind the tables and say, "Oh, I will pay this and this." Uh, so I feel this is a good day for digital or art, uh, more than anything, that it's being appreciated finally.
Yeah, because I have been there physically in the first auction with the what like exhibition that is placed in West Bund, Shanghai, and we hold the auction in a really like fancy hotel restaurant where everyone, collector, they sit on the table, they would talk about their collections, and they would after we first give them a guide tour in the whole tank building, like the whole white one, like it's really modern and conceptual architecture as well. So
Hmm.
after the tour, after they go through all the artworks, they sit down, they chat, they hear some of maybe um, researchers or people who work in um, virtual coin uh, industry, they
Hmm.
hear that their opinions, and then as audience or potential collectors, they share their like preference. Like they will say, okay, this piece, I just love it. The first time I saw it, or someone may be really touched by the story behind it, and then it start the auction with a really woman like putting the stuff. You know, it's
Yeah.
really feeling the atmosphere, and people compete for great piece. Like I see, it begins with like several collectors, and then it narrow down to two, and they just put the price higher and compete among two people. It's really interesting and it's really nice to be there physically.
Hmm. Yeah, I bet. And it's also nice to feel that someone wants to buy a piece that is in a way part of you. It's something really personal, and that someone on the other side of the world is maybe feel the same way. Like after the exhibition, one artist also who went on the exhibition wrote to me that, oh, I really feel that this piece resonates with what I'm feeling, and that's something totally awesome. That never happened. That I don't think happened much often before. Like digital art was always part of something different, either like cinematics, movies, or music videos. But now that it's really stand on their own, on its
I
own.
would, yeah, I would say it's quite, it is young compared to other
Definitely.
kind of arts, like they have longer history and stuff, but it definitely gains its attention, especially with a lot of, you know, monumental auction result and also platform like us, like doing the promoting. It's somehow I felt digital art is really a global thing that kind of break the limit of, you know, time, space, countries, culture. You just feel people all come from different culture background.
Hmm.
And it's really amazing to, like last time we have the exhibition to all immerse all these pieces into one like building. And you just stand there, you could feel like people around the globe.
Yes, it's awesome. Maybe it's because it's so rooted in internet and like
Yeah.
digital format that you can basically stream your art anywhere in the world, and you can stream in different places at the same time. Uh, yeah, and as you said, it's really early days, and I can't wait how it will evolve later on, because the same happened with photography. It was also something new, and people artwork at the beginning look down on the photography, but right now it's really like strong place, and it's really present in all the exhibitions and on the art or all the artworks.
Yeah, photography is like the at first it's like a competitor to traditional
Hmm.
like realism art. Uh, Artists hate them like
Yeah.
at the beginning, I think so. And then it's start people start buying it when it's affordable, and then people have access to these kind of method to document their livings, like it becomes a form of art. And then we have gradually have exhibition like Tate. They would have these kind of, or National Geography. It divides to different streams like art one, natural one, scientific one, and then it becomes something that is showed, displayed in gallery. And that's same for digital art, like NFT art as well. When it comes first, like people look maybe a bit underestimated, I would
Yeah.
say. Not everyone look down on it, but people definitely underestimate it. it never come to people that one artist of artwork like people, his piece could become like top 10 um, highest price like in the whole auction history. Like people just we haven't been through something like that, so we could not imagine.
Yeah, yeah, it's, exactly. And the same stuff happened for the abstract art. Like some people till they cannot imagine that two colors on the canvas could be sold for like 10 million
Yes.
or stuff like that. But also what's interesting about the photography is, like in my view, I don't know how much this is true, but when the photography becomes so popular and start to be their own thing, I think that all the painters had to evolve. Like there's not as many realistic painters right now. They
Yeah,
all have
yeah,
to find different styles and look for different stuff. And I hope that the same will happen with digital art, that it's not only become their own thing, but other like art sectors will evolve in different sections and figure out something new, right?
yeah. I'm sure it will definitely evolve. Do you want to have a guess or imagination of like what will the future of digital art become? Like,
Like in my mind, definitely everyone, not everyone, but having moving picture on a instead of like just painted picture in a living room, that will be totally normal. Because it's so interesting to look at when you have art that is evolving in front of your eyes, and you have so many possibilities with it. It could evolve based on the, I don't know, time of the day, or it could have you could have installation with some camera that will influence this part of art. I feel that it will be more experience than just a piece of the painting. I think it will become more interactive and um, yeah, there's so many ways it could change, even like with VR, holograms. But I feel we will see a lot of new things in the new years.
I felt like today we have already seen some changes that sometimes art becoming an interactive installation or an interactive art that people audience could, when you're walking by, it plays sound like piano noise or it occurs brushes on the canvas and stuff. It becomes like it make audience a part of the creation. It become
Yeah,
a process. Like before, it always like a finished piece that you hung in the like royal ceiling in the beginning. Like
yeah, yeah.
you put it there that a lot of royalty would come and say, okay, I like this one. I love this one for my bedroom. But today it was like from the beginning, it was more down to earth and for everyone. The art is for the public, and you could see like landmarks decorated with like popular art, and we have different formats, even like tattoo and stuff. It's becoming more diverse now.
Yeah, definitely. Like I believe that art is every one of us, and everyone appreciate this stuff. Uh, Before it could be almost snobbish, like to look at it, but uh, yeah, I feel right now a lot of people are feeling that they're artists and they're creating this their own stuff, and a lot of people appreciate art a lot more than, let's say, 1 century ago.
Yeah, very true. Um, Also, I would like to announce a new project that we are Crypto Art are working on. That we have worked with Sandbox. It's a game company, and we now have announced that we are going to put on our new function that is a virtual gallery. so artists could display their art and maybe interact or having dialogue with other artists. And
No,
we
that's
would
awesome.
really love to have your piece in that place. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Send it to me when it's
in
ready.
the and in the upcoming future, we would have a new exhibition. Um, we work with Yellow Box that is located in a coastal city that in China, in Qingdao, and we were really looking forward to that exhibition, and followed by another future cooperation with Westbund again. So we hope like we could have some of your piece going to displayed and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm working on the new one, so as soon as they are done, I'll send it to your way.
Looking forward to it. I think that's everything we have talking about around art, around your own career, past movie making, and NFT art. Do you want to conclude it with some like suggestions or um, your like inner feelings about how you've been through this long way in as an artist? Like, what do you want to share to other artists and audience?
Mm, tough questions. I don't know. For sure, I'm really excited about the future and about the NFT, uh, how it will evolve, and I feel that I'm not the only one that feel inspired to produce even more and explore uh, new ideas and new styles right now, and there's actual possibility uh, to basically earn a living from it and earn a living from creating your own art. It's really interesting time for all the digital artists.
Yeah, definitely. Like making a living is a lot of people are looking forward to be at a state that you have the financial freedom and to be and also the time to do what you really love, what you are really passionate about.
Yeah, that's
And
the dream, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's hope the best for everyone and hope you enjoy doing what you are doing right now and hope one day you could reach a place that you could have more freedom to express yourself and show your art to more audience.
Yeah, thank you
I
very
think
much.
that's all for today's interview. Thank you for joining, and thank you, Camille. Thank you for all the audience coming to listen, and looking forward to the future cooperation.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for the talk. For the talk, it was really nice.
Okay, thank you. Bye.